So you want to buy a house. Congratulations. Where do you start though? I'm Jenny Hendricks at Century 21 Prestige Realty, and let's talk about being a first-time home buyer. Where do you start? What do you do? Well, first of all, you need to find a realtor that you can trust. I've got people. I can help you with that one. Once you've established a relationship with a realtor, hopefully that realtor will be able to introduce you to a really, really good local lender. So that's the next step in the process, is having a consultation with a local lender. You want to find out what you're qualified for, what's going to fit your budget, if there's any credit issues you need to work through, what your timeline is going to be, and so forth. There's also lots of different loan programs available. So you're going to want to talk with that lender and decide which loan program is going to be the best fit for your situation. So once you've determined that and you have your pre-approval letter from that lender, now you're ready to start shopping. So you're going to go out and view some properties, walk through properties, check out the neighborhoods, decide what's going to really be a good fit for you. Do you want a townhome? Do you want a single family home? Do you want something that's on a large lot? Or do you prefer something that's on a smaller lot? So all of these things kind of go into that decision-making process of what's going to be the best fit for you. Once you have found a property that is a good fit, that you want to make an offer on, your realtor will write up that purchase contract, and you'll need to make some decisions like how much earnest money do you want to put down, how long do you want to have the escrow period be. Usually it's between, I'm going to say 30 and 45 days. Your lender will give you some input on that. Because your lender is the one that's going to have to schedule the appraisal, go through that process. So you don't want to put your lender in a bind, the appraiser in a bind, the underwriters in a bind with a time frame that is too short. So your realtor and your lender will help you with that. There's also going to be a due diligence deadline in there. That is, of course, the period of time where you can check out anything you want about the property. Get a home inspection done. And again, if you have questions about a home inspection, go check out the video that we did that explains really in depth what a home inspection is supposed to do for you and why I think it's really important. So the home inspection is part of that due diligence deadline. So work with your agent on that to determine how long you're going to need to get all of the due diligence done, all of the inspections done that you want to accomplish in that time frame. I usually go about 2 weeks-ish or so, something like that, but get out the calendar and make sure that that's going to be a good fit for your timeline. Once you have, once your agent has written up the offer, then your agent will submit it to the listing agent. The listing agent will review that offer with the seller. Hopefully you're the only offer. If not, then there's some additional back and forth. But in a typical transaction, you submit your offer. The listing agent will have a conversation with the seller to see if they're accepting all of the terms or if there's anything that they want to counter back. So if the seller does counter back, then you have the opportunity to review that with your agent, see if you are okay with all of those terms, or if there's anything else that you need to continue to counter back with the seller. So sometimes that goes back and forth 2 or 3 times, and that's okay. But once you've got that offer accepted, that's really the catalyst for all of these deadlines. That's when the clock starts ticking on all of these, okay? Once you are under contract, you have an accepted offer, your agent is going to send that offer to your lender, and also to the title company. So then there's two things that kind of happen simultaneously. The lender starts working really hard to get your loan package put together. They're going to order the appraisal. They're going to want all kinds of documents from you. Whatever the lender asks you for, please understand that you need to have it in a timely fashion, because now, like I say, the clock is ticking toward that finance and appraisal deadline and the settlement deadline. Also, the title company is going to get busy, and they are going to start with the preliminary title report. So this is a document that it's their research on the history of the title. What liens are there? Are there any encumbrances? Are there any easements? Is there any unpaid property taxes? All of that's going to show up on this preliminary title report, and your agent should review that with you just to make sure that there's nothing about the property that's going to cause a bump in the road. Usually there's not, but if there is, you just work with the title company to get it taken care of. So marching forward, you're doing your due diligence at the same time. So your agent's going to schedule that inspection, go through that process with your inspector. Once you've gone through that, then your lender will order the appraisal. So all of this is kind of happening at the same time. There's a lot of moving parts to a transaction here. So once all of that is done, you've completed your inspection. Hopefully the appraisal has come back and it meets the purchase price. If not, then there's another little bit of negotiation that can happen there. That's okay. Title is clear and you're ready to go. Once your loan has been completed, your lender will let your agent know that we're ready to close. It's called the clear to close, and everybody does a little happy dance when you get the clear to close. That means you're probably a day or two away from actually settling. So your lender will send all of that information to the title company. The title company will prepare the settlement statement. Now, the settlement statement is just basically the debits and the credits of the transaction. So did the seller agree to pay any of your closing costs? That's going to show up as a line item on the settlement statement. What are your fees involved in this? Title insurance, closing fees, recording fees, that sort of thing. That's going to show up as a line item on the settlement statement. It'll show how much your loan is going to be, how much your lender is going to contribute, and then any cash that you need to contribute will also be a separate line item on that settlement statement. So before closing, you'll have the opportunity to review that settlement statement with your agent, make sure the numbers are correct, make sure that nothing has been missed, and then once you've approved that, then the title company will prepare the final closing documents, and you'll go to the title company and sign. If you are not in town and you can't physically go to the title company and sign those docs, they will either email them to you and you'll have to sign them in front of a notary, or they can send a notary to you and that you can sign and they'll notarize everything there, and then the notary will send everything back to title. So once you have signed and once the seller has signed, the title company gathers all of those documents up, sends it back to your lender. The lender releases the funds. The title company distributes the funds, pays off any existing mortgages on the property, records your note, your mortgage against the property, and the title company will record that property in your name. They'll record that deed that gives you title to the home. This is a very short explanation about the home buying process. There's a lot of details, so please let me know if I can be a resource for you. There's lots going on in a real estate transaction. I'm Jenny Hendricks at Century 21 Prestige Realty. We'll see you soon.